Hey, welcome back. In this video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Australian coins to explore the 10 most valuable Australian one pennies. We'll uncover every detail, from their history and design to their market value, and show you why collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for these rare treasures. Stay with me, because each coin tells a story of Australia's past, and you won't believe how much some of these pennies are worth today. Let's moving on. First up, the 1913 Australian one penny. When you hold a 1913 Australian one penny in your hand, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding the beginning of a nation's identity written in bronze. The year 1913 represents one of the most important turning points in Australian numismatics. This was the year Australia had finally begun to strike the coins that carried its own national identity after years of relying on British-issued money. And because this first-year penny had such a modest mintage, its survival in high-grade condition is nothing short of miraculous. Most of these pennies entered circulation immediately, passing from pocket to pocket, surviving the roughness of everyday life, surviving wars, depressions, and the gradual decay of time. That is exactly why collectors today go completely crazy for an example that still carries its full mint. Luster, sharp features, smooth fields, clean rims, and that deep chocolate brown tone that only the highest grade bronze coins develop. The obverse, featuring King George V and facing left, is a portrait that has become iconic for Australian collectors. But most people don't realize how difficult it is to find this portrait fully struck on a 1913 penny. Weak strikes were extremely common that year, especially around the king's moustache, beard, and the finer lettering around the rim. So when a collector encounters a sharply struck example, where the king's hair is fully sculpted, where the rim beads stand sharply defined, where the inscriptions are crisp and untouched, it instantly elevates the coin into a premium tier. And that's before we even talk about the reverse. The classic one penny design with Australia arching gracefully above and the date. 1913 below seems simple, but it is full of subtle details that only appear on high-grade coins. The clean inner fields, the perfectly rounded lettering, the uniform rim denticles. Everything must be perfect to command the elite prices we see today. In the current market, an exceptionally high-grade 1913 penny, one with immaculate surfaces, minimal marks, and strong eye appeal, can fetch up to $2,400, sometimes even more depending on eye appeal and certification. Collectors treat it as not just a coin, but an historical foundation stone. When this coin appears at major auctions, phones ring off the hooks, online bidding spikes instantly, and collectors who've been waiting years for the right example jump aggressively. It is the type of coin that transforms a collection, a true trophy piece. And for anyone who knows Australian pre-decimal history, a gem-grade 1913 penny represents the beginning of Australia's modern coinage story, a beginning worth every cent of its astonishing value. Next up, the 1916 Australian one penny is more than just a coin struck in the middle of World War I. It is a survivor of one of the harshest and most uncertain periods in global history. Australia in 1916 was fully involved in the Great War. Manufacturing, labour and metal supply were under enormous pressure. The Royal Mint branches were strained and production quality varied immensely. This is exactly why the 1916 penny, especially in superior condition, has become one of the great Australian bronze rarities. While millions were produced, only a tiny fraction survived the century without being worn down, scratched, bent or corroded. Anyone who has handled circulated examples knows how common it is to see weak strikes, uneven colour, dull fields and soft details. But an example that still carries its original mint brilliance, that is an entirely different story, and that is where the value skyrockets. The obverse portrait of King George V on the 1916 penny is notoriously hard to find with clean, blemish-free fields. The slightest handling left marks, and the wartime striking pressure was inconsistent. So when you encounter a 1916 penny, where the portrait rises sharply from a smooth, unblemished field, where the legends are bold and the rims perfectly intact. You're looking at something exceptionally rare. The reverse is equally difficult. The 1 penny lettering often shows softness. On the O and the P, and the inner beading frequently lacks definition. Yet high-grade survivors display beautiful uniformity, strong lettering, rich bronze color, and almost mirror-like fields that reflect the craftsmanship of the era. What truly sets the 1916 penny apart is its story. These coins traveled through wartime pockets, through the hands of soldiers, merchants, families struggling to get by, and government workers under pressure. Many were lost, melted down, or simply worn to smooth discs. So, when a pristine example surfaces today, collectors see it as a time capsule, a window into 1916 Australia. They see history, resilience, and rarity fused into one object. In today's numismatic landscape, a top-grade certified example can command as much as 17,800, with many selling rapidly due to fierce competition among collectors. Examples with strong luster and exceptional strike quality disappear almost instantly. Auction records prove time and time again that the 1916 penny has graduated from being just another early George V issue to becoming one of the most respected bronze classics in the Australian coin world. Its rarity and high grade, its deep wartime history, its attractive design, and its undeniable presence make the 1916 penny one of the most desirable pre-decimal pieces ever struck. For collectors hunting for the finest pieces that combine story, beauty, and scarcity, this coin stands as a true pillar, one that continues to rise in prestige with every passing year. Next up, the 1919 Australian 1 penny is a coin that carries with it the echoes of a world recovering from unprecedented upheaval. Australia, having endured the devastating impact of World War I, was in a period of social and economic transition. The 1919 penny, struck at the Melbourne Mint, represents both continuity and resilience in a nation striving to assert its identity. While the mintage for this year was relatively substantial, finding an example that has survived in high-grade condition is an extraordinary rarity. Most circulated examples were worn, corroded, or damaged, making pristine specimens highly sought after by collectors worldwide. Examining the obverse, the dignified portrait of King George V stands out in sharp relief. Every curl of his meticulously engraved hair, every contour of his moustache and beard is rendered with precision, especially in high-grade coins. The surrounding legends, the inscriptions that encircle the king's image, are fully legible, a feature often lost on coins that have passed through countless hands over a century. Collectors prize those rare examples where the obverse retains its original luster, with smooth fields that allow the portrait to pop against the bronze surface, conveying an elegance that belies the coin's everyday origins. The reverse is equally significant in its design and historical importance. The bold 1 penny sits prominently at the center, with Australia arched above and the date 1919 below. In high-grade specimens, the lettering is crisp. The inner fields are flawless, and the rim denticles remain fully defined, adding a structural symmetry that collectors find irresistible. The rich reddish-brown patina of a well-preserved 1919 penny adds depth and warmth to the design, creating a visual harmony that enhances its aesthetic appeal. Each detail, from the smooth surfaces to the sharp inscriptions, reflects the careful craftsmanship of the Royal Mint during this period. In today's market, a high-grade 1919 penny can command up to $15,900. This value is a testament not only to its rarity but also to the historical significance and aesthetic beauty it embodies. Collectors view the coin as more than just currency. It is a tangible connection to post-war Australia, a survivor of global turbulence, and a piece of national heritage. When a pristine example surfaces at auction, it generates immediate excitement, with bids often soaring as collectors vie to claim a piece of history that has survived over a century. Next up, The 1921 Australian one penny is a coin that represents both rarity and refinement in Australian numismatics. Struck during the early 1920s, a period marked by recovery and social change after the First World War, this coin reflects a maturing nation and the meticulous artistry of the Royal Mint. While circulation numbers were moderate, the survival rate of high-grade 1921 pennies is exceptionally low, making them a prized addition to any serious collection. Every example carries with it the story of a coin that has endured nearly a century of handling, environmental exposure and historical events, yet has emerged as a testament to the skill of the mint and the resilience of bronze. The obverse features King George V in a portrait that combines authority with elegance. In top-grade examples, the intricate details of his hair, the sharp contours of his moustache and beard, and the clarity of the rim legends are breathtaking. Circulated coins often display where that softens the portrait and obscures the inscriptions, but a high-grade 1921 penny maintains its sharpness and original strike, offering collectors a glimpse of the coin as it first left the mint. The subtle patina that develops over decades adds character without diminishing the brilliance, giving the coin a depth that is highly coveted. The reverse design is timeless and iconic. The central 1 penny is bold and perfectly balanced, with Australia elegantly arched above and the date 1921 below. The rim denticles are sharp and uniform, and the inner fields are smooth and reflective, highlighting the precision of the striking process. Collectors particularly value examples that retain strong luster and a rich bronze tone, as these features dramatically enhance the coin's visual appeal and overall market value. Each detail tells a story of craftsmanship, endurance and historical continuity, making the coin more than a simple medium of exchange. A high-grade 1921 penny today can fetch up to $16,300, reflecting its rarity, historical importance and visual beauty. Auctions for this coin are often highly competitive, with collectors fully aware that each example represents a unique connection to Australia's post-war era. Owning a pristine 1921 penny is akin to holding a piece of living history, tangible link to a nation's past and a stunning example of early 20th century minting excellence. For numismatists, it is not just a coin. It is a symbol of Australia's resilience, artistry and enduring legacy. Next up, the 1925 Australian 1 penny is not just a coin, it is a legend. In the world of Australian numismatics, few coins evoke the same awe and fascination as this rare gem. Struck at the Melbourne Mint during the roaring 1920s, the 1925 penny has achieved near mythical status among collectors because of its extreme rarity. Only a handful of high-grade examples survive today, making it the crown jewel of many serious collections. Unlike earlier issues, which were often abundant in circulation, the 1925 penny had an extremely low mintage, and most examples were heavily circulated, leaving virtually none in pristine condition. This scarcity is precisely why it commands astronomical prices in today's market. A top-grade specimen can reach an incredible $95,000. The obverse features King George V in a portrait that has become iconic, yet what makes the 1925 issue truly remarkable is the condition in which some rare specimens have survived. Collectors look for coins where every curl of the king's hair is sharply struck, where the moustache and beard display intricate details, and where the surrounding legends remain fully legible. Any imperfections immediately reduce the coin's value, but when a coin retains its original mint luster, smooth fields and crisp rim, it is considered a numismatic masterpiece. The rarity is so high that even slight abrasions are enough to make the coin nearly unattainable at public auctions. Turning to the reverse, the 1 penny inscription is bold and symmetrical, arching over the date 1925 with Australia perfectly positioned above. The fields are clean and smooth, and the rim denticles stand fully defined. These seemingly small details are what separate a collector-grade specimen from the thousands of circulated examples that exist in less desirable condition. Beyond the physical beauty, the coin tells a story of an era, post-war recovery, industrial growth, and a nation asserting its identity. Each surviving coin carries the silent echoes of the hands it has passed through over nearly a century, making it not just a collectible, but a tangible piece of history. Because of its rarity, historical importance, and exceptional beauty, the 1925 Australian 1 penny is regarded as the pinnacle of Australian pre-decimal coinage. Serious collectors will spend years searching for one, and when it finally surfaces, the auction room tension is palpable. Every detail, every mark, every gleaming field contributes to its staggering value. Owning this coin is owning a crown jewel of Australia's numismatic heritage. Next up, the 1926 Australian 1 penny is a coin of understated elegance, yet commanding importance. While not as rare as the legendary 1925 penny, it is nonetheless a highly sought-after piece for collectors due to its limited, high-grade survival rate and exquisite craftsmanship. Produced at the Melbourne Mint, the 1926 penny reflects a period when Australia's coinage had matured both artistically and technically, yet each coin remained a labour of precision, with subtle variations that make the difference between a common example and a numismatic treasure. Examining the obverse, King George V's portrait stands with regal authority, every detail of his hair, beard, and facial features sharply engraved. High-grade examples display remarkable definition, with the legends around the rim perfectly formed, lending the coin an aesthetic balance that is visually striking. The 1926 penny is notorious among collectors because circulated examples often show softness in the king's portrait and rim lettering. Coins that survived in near-mint condition are incredibly rare, making their appearance at auctions a highly anticipated event. The reverse design is equally captivating. The bold 1 penny sits above the date 1926 with Australia arching gracefully at the top. Smooth inner fields, crisp lettering, and fully defined rim denticles make a high-grade 1926 penny a visual masterpiece. Even minor imperfections can dramatically affect value, so collectors prize coins with exceptional eye appeal, rich bronze tone and full mint luster. The historical context adds even more weight to this coin. The mid-1920s were years of relative economic stability, yet coins like the 1926 penny still circulated widely, passing through countless hands, enduring wear and tear and surviving wars, depressions and everyday life. Finding a specimen that escaped all of that is extraordinarily rare. Today, top-grade examples can command 19,400, a reflection not just of scarcity, but of historical significance, visual appeal and collector demand. Next up, the 1929 Australian 1 penny is a coin that resonates deeply within the hearts of collectors, not only for its scarcity but also for the story it tells about Australia during a turbulent yet fascinating period in history. Struck at the Melbourne Mint, this coin emerged just as the Great Depression was beginning to cast its shadow across the world. Despite economic uncertainty, the Royal Mint continued to produce coins of impeccable artistry, demonstrating the resilience and professionalism of Australia's numismatic operations. While millions of pennies were minted that year, very few have survived in the high-grade condition that collectors now seek, making the 1929 penny a truly coveted piece in any serious collection. The obverse of the coin is a commanding portrait of King George V. His features, from the meticulous curls of his hair to the finely engraved moustache and beard, are rendered with an artistry that transcends mere function. High-grade examples preserve the king's face in sharp, almost lifelike detail, with the surrounding legends standing perfectly clear and intact. Many pennies from 1929 were circulated heavily, resulting in worn portraits and blurred inscriptions, but the coins that survived in mint or near-mint condition are prized. For their crispness and visual appeal, these high-grade specimens reveal not only the skill of the engravers but also the resilience of the bronze alloy, which has retained its warm, reddish-brown tone despite nearly a century of existence. The reverse design is equally compelling. The bold 1 penny dominates the center, with Australia arching gracefully above and the date 1929 positioned neatly below. In top-tier examples, the rim denticles are perfectly defined, the fields are smooth and reflective, and the lettering is sharp and symmetrical. It is these subtle features, often overlooked by casual collectors, that elevate the 1929 penny from a mere historical artifact to a high-value numismatic masterpiece. Each detail tells a story: the craftsmanship of the mint, the passage of the coin through countless hands, and its survival against all odds to reach today's collector. Due to its rarity and desirability in high grade, the 1929 Australian 1 penny commands an extraordinary price of $22,800 in the market. Serious collectors understand that finding a specimen with full strike, rich coloration and pristine surfaces is akin to finding a needle in a haystack. When one does appear at a prestigious auction, the bidding is fierce, reflecting the coin's significance. As both a piece of Australian history and a visually stunning artifact, the 1929 penny is not simply currency. It is a symbol of endurance, beauty, and the timeless appeal of Australian pre-decimal coinage. Next up, the 1933 Australian 1 penny occupies a legendary place in Australian numismatics, rivaling even the most famous rarities in the pre-decimal series. Struck during a period of cautious optimism following the worst years of the Great Depression, this coin represents both the artistry of the royal mint and the fragile hope of a nation rebuilding its economy. What makes the 1933 penny particularly remarkable is that, although mint records show it was produced in considerable numbers, surviving examples in high-grade condition are incredibly rare. Most circulated examples suffered extensive wear, corrosion, or minor damage, leaving only a small fraction that meet the exacting standards of top collectors today. The obverse is dominated by the dignified portrait of King George V, a design that by 1933 had become a hallmark of Australian coinage. On a high-grade specimen, the king's hair flows with exquisite precision. The moustache and beard are finely detailed, and the rim lettering remains fully legible. Any imperfections, however minor, immediately diminish the coin's value, which is why only coins with exceptional surfaces, sharp strikes, and original mint brilliance achieve the highest market prices. Beyond aesthetics, this coin serves as a testament to the survival of art and craftsmanship in a world still grappling with economic hardship. The reverse is a study in symmetry and balance. 1 penny stands boldly across the center, with Australia above and the date 1933 below. In premium specimens, the inner fields are smooth, the lettering sharp, and the rim denticles perfectly intact. The patina on these coins, often a deep, rich chocolate or reddish-brown, adds depth and warmth to the design, highlighting the skill and care with which it was struck. Collectors prize coins that retain their original luster, as these surfaces reflect not just light but history, a century of stories embedded in bronze. Today, a high-grade 1933 penny can command as much as $31,000, a price that reflects both its scarcity and the intense desire among collectors to own a piece of Australian history. Auctions for this coin are marked by heightened anticipation, with experienced collectors recognizing that such a coin is not merely a collectible, but a tangible link to the Australia of the early 20th century, a nation overcoming adversity, building identity, and leaving a legacy of beautiful coinage for future generations. Owning a 1933 Australian 1 penny in top grade is akin to possessing a living history book. Each curve, each letter, each gleaming field tells the story of an era long past, yet preserved in bronze for centuries to come. It is a coin that transcends mere monetary value, earning its place as one of the crown jewels of any Australian pre-decimal collection. Next up, the 1934 Australian 1 penny is a coin that immediately captures the attention of collectors for its combination of historical significance, artistic beauty, and scarcity in high-grade condition. Struck at the Melbourne Mint, this penny emerged in a period of gradual recovery following the global turmoil of the early 1930s. Australia, like much of the world, was still feeling the lingering effects of the Great Depression, yet the Royal Mint continued to produce coins of exceptional quality, ensuring that each piece carried the pride and craftsmanship of a nation, asserting its identity. While millions of pennies were struck in 1934, the survival of coins in mint or near-mint condition is incredibly rare, making this particular issue a highly coveted gem among collectors. The obverse features the iconic portrait of King George IV, a design that has become synonymous with Australia's pre-decimal coinage. In high-grade examples, the king's hair is sculpted with remarkable precision, every curl and wave clearly visible. The finely engraved moustache and beard give the portrait a lifelike quality, while the surrounding legends remain sharp and fully legible. For collectors, this level of detail is more than just aesthetic. It is a testament to the skill and dedication of the engravers at the Melbourne Mint. Most 1934 pennies in circulation show signs of wear, with the portrait and lettering softened or partially erased. A coin that retains its full strike and original surface. Brilliance is therefore exceptionally rare and immediately desirable. The reverse design is equally impressive. The bold 1 penny dominates the center, with Australia arching gracefully above and the date 1934 perfectly centered below. On a top-grade example, the rim denticles are fully defined, and the inner fields are smooth and reflective. The rich chocolate brown or reddish-brown patina adds depth and warmth to the design, enhancing the coin's visual appeal and emphasizing the elegance of the striking. Collectors prize these high-grade examples not only for their beauty but also for the story they tell, a story of survival, history, and the enduring legacy of Australian coinage. Because of its rarity and condition sensitivity, a high-grade 1934 Australian 1 penny can command as much as $2,500 in today's market. Serious collectors understand that finding one of these coins with full luster, sharp strike, and minimal marks is an extraordinary achievement. When such a coin appears at auction, it attracts immediate attention, with bidding often escalating rapidly due to the intense competition among collectors. The 1934 penny is not just a coin. It is a historical artifact, a symbol of a nation's resilience, and a masterclass in pre-decimal coin craftsmanship. Next up, the 1936 Australian 1 penny is widely regarded as one of the most remarkable and desirable coins in the entire pre-decimal series. Struck during a year of political transition and national significance, this penny represents the culmination of Australia's early 20th century coinage artistry. While circulation pennies from 1936 are relatively common, the survival of high-grade examples is extraordinarily rare, making this coin a true trophy for collectors who seek not only rarity but also historical and visual excellence. A top-grade specimen today can command an astounding $45,000, a figure that reflects both its scarcity and its status as a crown jewel of Australian numismatics. The obverse features King George V, whose portrait is captured with stunning detail and precision. In premium examples, every strand of hair is sharply defined. The moustache and beard are intricately engraved, and the rim legends stand crisp and legible. Unlike many circulated examples, which have suffered wear, contact marks, and corrosion over the decades, a high-grade 1936 penny retains the original strike quality and brilliance, providing collectors with a glimpse into the exceptional craftsmanship of the Royal Mint. The obverse alone tells a story of technical mastery, artistic attention, and the careful preparation required to produce coins that would last for generations. The reverse of the coin is equally spectacular. The bold 1 penny sits prominently at the center, with Australia arching above and the date 1936 below. The inner fields are smooth and mirror-like in the finest examples, while the rim denticles remain perfectly formed, creating a sense of symmetry and elegance that few coins can match. The deep, rich bronze tone of a high-grade 1936 penny is mesmerizing, with subtle variations that highlight the coin's history and the quality of its preservation. Collectors prize these examples not only for their visual appeal but also for their historical resonance. Each coin is a tangible link to a pivotal era in Australia's history, when the nation was establishing its identity on the global stage, and its coinage reflected pride, stability, and craftsmanship. Because of its rarity, historical importance, and the exceptionally low survival rate in high grade, the 1936 Australian 1 penny is considered one of the most valuable and sought-after pennies in the entire pre-decimal series. When one appears at auction, it commands immediate attention from serious collectors, often triggering competitive bidding wars that reflect its status as a true numismatic treasure. Owning this coin is more than just adding a piece of currency to a collection. It is claiming a piece of Australian history, a masterful artifact of design and production, and a highly prestigious symbol of rarity and collector achievement.